Well, Wendy, I think, and obviously I cannot speak for all of the media, but I would say this. I know that under our Constitution, we're not supposed to have a religious test for public office. And I personally, as a producer and as a host of this radio program, have been very scrupulous in making sure that I have not that I do not imply even in anything that I say on in relation to this political discussion that I even imply any religious bias one way or the other, and this is for obvious reasons, because I think it really does lead to what we call this slippery slope. I think once you begin to identify and isolate people's religious beliefs or convictions and use that as a means or as a litmus test of some kind, or you use that as a proxy for evaluating the person's political prospects, I think that is especially dangerous. And so I am not at all perturbed by the fact that there has not been a public conversation about Mr. Romney's religious beliefs or his Mormonism. I certainly don't know enough about Mormonism to speak intelligently or to provide any sort of authoritative analysis on whether a person who is a Mormon can publicly serve as an elected official. I don't see, on the basis of the limited information available to me, why this would not be the case, and why as you know, there are so many people going back to the election of 2008. We heard Mr. Obama was practically tarred and feathered by some on the extreme right, and placed in a situation where he was all but asked to publicly state that he is not a Muslim, as though there's something wrong with being a Muslim. And that is it represents a new kind of low in our political discourse. And I would be very saddened, very disheartened if we were to move in that direction. So quite frankly, I am not disappointed by the fact that there has not been more of that discussion in relation to Mr. Romney. Yes.
But you know, the only difference that I see here is that I remember when they attacked President Obama, also about Reverend Wright, for listening to this man.
Right.
But there's a difference between hearing and teaching, and I can't think of another religion that says that one group of people is cursed.
Oh,
that's why
I think a lot of it depends.
Different.
I think a lot of it depends.
Otherwise, I agree with you completely.
Okay, well, Wendy, I think a lot of it depends on how you interpret religious teaching, because that's part of the problem with religion. You've got these broad ideas that many of us associate with the major religions, the Abrahamic faiths, and so on. But within these religious denominations, within these broad religious groupings, you also have religious denominations and all kinds of subsets within this larger group. And it can become incredibly detailed, and it would amaze you what some of the teachings are in some of the, quote, so-called mainstream religions. But that's another conversation.
Right.